Hi there, Dad You Never Had here, back with another video. This one's on replacing a broken garbage disposal. It's in two parts. You probably want to watch both. If you've never done this before, you may just need a refresher. But either way, I can take you from the start to the finish. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Appreciate y'all watching. See you on the next one. Hi there, Dad You Never Had here. Today I'm going to be replacing my garbage disposal in my kitchen. Yesterday we heard a weird noise. I figured a spoon or something was in there. But when I looked in there, I could see that one of the teeth, the grinding teeth, had actually broken off. So I knew it was time to replace it, and I went and bought a new one, and I'm going to do that today. As far as dad advice with plumbing is make sure you have everything you need before you get started. Never start a plumbing project in the late afternoon. If you can help it, try to start in the morning in case you got to go back to the store for some other stuff. I've done quite a few disposers, so I'm not super worried about it. But when you're messing with plumbing, it seems like you fix one thing and you break another. But I'll walk you through this. I'm assuming that you have not done this before, or maybe you have and you just need a refresher. So I'll kind of show you how Dad does it. First, you got to get your tools and stuff together, and I'm going to explain why I have a boogie board here that I've already cleaned out under the sink. Don't just stick your head up under there and get started thinking you're going to work around all the crap you have under your sink, because you'll regret it later. It's a good time to get everything clean anyway. The disposer I have is this one. It's probably sub 100 bucks, 1/3 horsepower, which is probably the smallest one you can get. And you can see there is a red button. So normally if you're having problems, it may have tripped this little switch, and you can push that red button and try your disposer again to see if it works. First thing obviously is make sure you have power, which I do. I have a power switch here. You can hear that the motor is on, so there's power to the unit, but it's not turning. Before you swap it out, you want to figure out, and I'm sure you would know, but maybe you're at somebody else's house, if you have a dishwasher or not, because people with dishwashers hook up this hose up here on the top, the gray hose. Everybody's going to hook up the black one. That's your waste water pipe going into the P-trap. So we could still use the sink yesterday, which was Super Bowl Sunday, but made sure not to put any food or anything down there because I knew I wouldn't be changing it till today. But the P-trap is where your water goes out. If you don't know what a P-trap is, the bottom part of it holds water to keep sewer gases from coming back into your house, and then that hooks up to the drain there. This gray hose goes into this panel, which is just part of our cupboard, and goes into our dishwasher, which is right next door. So I do have a dishwasher, so I have to take that into account when I install the new one. And then you want to see what your power source looks like. And of course, this is the power cord here, and I do have an outlet here, so I'm going to go ahead and unplug that. And you'll see that I need to reuse this cord. So don't just throw everything out. I'm going to use this cord for the new one and wire it underneath there, and I'll show you once I take it out. Okay, what do you get in the box when you buy a new one? You get, this is the one I bought. It's a 1/2 horsepower, so that's going to be a little bit bigger. It was certainly more expensive. Here's the directions. Everyone in my family thinks I'm so handy, but I'm the only one that actually will look at directions. So sometimes that's all the difference in one person to another. But what comes in the box is what you see here. This is the disposer body itself. This little wrench, which I'll explain, and your connections, like this goes to the P-trap, remember. This is the one that's going to go into that gray hose that goes to the dishwasher. And inside here, it's blocked off. So there's plastic in there. My finger's hitting it right now. So you're going to take a screwdriver or something blunt and pop that out. You have to bang it into the inside. So from your sink top, you're going to see this. Of course, this is, if you want to wash your dog, you're going to fill up the sink. And this, that you see in your sink where the food goes in. Hopefully you can see that. And then this part is going to attach to right onto the sink. And it screws on and off. Let me take it apart. Okay, this, you see how it screws on? See that lip right there where my finger is? That goes on here and then screws down to make it tight. This part that you see in my hand will be attached to my sink. It will replace this one here. So we'll replace that. Sometimes I just leave those there if they're the same size because it's not really necessary, and I can just reuse what's there instead of replacing all of this. Depends on the collar and whether or not I just want a new one because it looks shiny and nice, which is good. My yoga mat and boogie board are a little trick I invented for myself to lay on so that my back is not on this thing the whole time, because you'll be under there for a while. And if you can actually have somebody have your tools right here close to you, or put them inside so you don't have to keep getting up and down, that'll help. Okay, with the top part off, you can now see this is going to be the part underneath. This is the part that you push the food through, and I can just pull that off. And if you can do that and throw them in the dishwasher once in a while, that's not a bad idea either. In here you see the body. This is what happened on mine, is one of those broke. It was actually loose in there. Sometimes if your disposer won't run, you can stick your hammer in there or something and just try to get things moving. See how it's turning? And if you can get it to turn like that, put this thing back on and try it. It may be good to go. Otherwise, most disposers have underneath, although mine didn't, which is weird. See, this one has the red reset button. So you want to try that. If that doesn't work, there's also this that I can stick this wrench in and turn the entire body. And you can turn it from underneath. So of course you're going to crawl under the sink to do this. This is when you're trying to repair one. I don't have to do that today, and oddly the one I bought does not have that turning thing. So you could use, like I used the hammer in the top just to get that body rotating, and once you do that, you're good to go. This is going to be where my power source goes, so when I reuse that power cord, it's going to feed in through here, come out through here with a collar, which actually I do have, and you may not have that, but I'll show it to you when I get there. Okay, I'm going to show you real quickly how we're going to knock this plug out, because I need to do that. Might as well do it right now, and I'll show you how easy that is, but you're only going to do that if you have a dishwasher. Okay, so now I have it on its side. I'm going to knock that plug out. You hear it? That's in there, and I need this to be out. Move back. And so I'm just going to take a hammer, and you're not going to break it. Just going to pop it out using a flat screwdriver. And there it goes. You see how now it's not there. This comes off, but I just put it back on. Okay, so that plug is here, and make sure that you get that out. So this is what I just knocked out, so the water can come out this tube and go. It comes from the dishwasher, drains into here, then goes to the disposal. All the water from the dishwasher and the sink come out here, remember, and go into the P-trap through that. Okay, so my plug's out. I'm gonna go remove the old one now. Okay, I got my boogie board, my little ramp set up, a few tools laid out that I think I might need for the clamps, although I'm not 100% sure, but got to get down in there and look. So remember, I've already unplugged the thing. So there's definitely water in the P-trap, guarantee. So I'm gonna spill some water. So I got a few rags here. Get them in there just in case. Maybe even put my head on one. But this disposer is connected. See that collar there on the top? It gets twisted on. First, I need to disconnect the hose for the dishwasher and then disconnect the connection for the P-trap, and then I can unscrew it from the top. Okay, so you're gonna unscrew it from the top last. You gotta disconnect these things on the back. See, there's two connections there. There's a metal clamp, probably has a flathead screwdriver on that, or Phillips, I'm not sure. And same thing with the black L angled pipe that you see there. There's going to be two screws on there. I'm not quite sure what they look like because I haven't got under there yet. I'll see them. So I'm probably going to have some water in this pipe from the dishwasher. It's going to spill on me, and who knows about the P-trap. It should probably be okay because I'm not going to take it. I'm only going to take it out to here. So I loosen this nut there. That's only a hand tightened nut on plastic. So there's a collar that tightens down on there to keep it watertight. But I can loosen that by hand. I don't need a tool for that. You don't want to use a tool on that. Okay, here we go. I'm not sure you can see this. But this is a flathead. These are both flatheads. So I'm going to take this one off first. Get this hose off. Put it over to the side. Remove this collar. It's got the two screws. Remove this pipe and loosen this and get that all off. Okay, I got the hose off. See, that was pretty easy. Took these two bolt slash screws off of here. And then this is the collar that holds it on. And then I loosen this with my hand. This is that little collar I told you about. And now I just need to see how that's going to come out there. And I'm going to pull this out of here. I'm just going to need two hands to do that. So I'm going to get that off. And then really all I got to do is unscrew this, which I think I can do that by hand also. If not, there's a little tool. What I'm talking about is this collar here. I can turn the whole thing and it'll come off. But like I said, I need to separate this black pipe. I've been on there a few years, but I'm sure I can do it with two hands. This pipe here that goes down to the P-trap, it's already loose. It can go up and down. I just want to be careful I don't put too much pressure on the P-trap assembly. I want to crack that or something like that. Okay, that took a pretty mighty tug. As you can see, it's pretty gross. But it was stuck on there. It was just the detritus of life. So now I should be able to just basically unscrew this from the top. Different ones go different ways. You should be able to figure it out. I'm thinking this one I can almost just slide it straight down. So I'm going to get this out and I'll show you. All right, that's part one. Part two, I'll put a link down below. You guys can keep watching. I'll finish up this project for you. Let's do it. You can do this. I know you can.